Right. You ready, John? Should we get going? We're ready. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome. We had a huge response to this event and were absolutely overwhelmed by the level of support and excitement surrounding it. So thank you for that. It was going to be our first in-person event of the year, as you know, and on Monday, we made the call to make it a virtual event, but still record the live stream from the loading bay in Shoreditch. However, as this week's gone on, more COVID cases have come to light, and even my wife tested positive for COVID. So it just wasn't safe to do that anymore. And so here I am recording the event live at home. Thankfully, my wife isn't too sick, and I really hope that you and your loved ones are managing to stay safe. As we were planning a party tonight, please grab a drink of your choosing and sit back and enjoy the presentation. John's got a drink. I've actually only got a water. I feel a bit remiss, but what this week does do is it serves us as a reminder of what we've all been through since last year. Many of our community of freelancers and self-employed people have lost work through lockdowns as a result of reduced investment or spending from businesses or customers. Many have struggled with sickness with no sick pay. Some have seen work completely dry up and had to rely on the self-employed income support scheme from the government. But at the same time, there have been many areas of opportunity. And one of those is using technology to reach each other, whether that's for work or to share a message like we are today. And I'm sure this won't be the last time. Today, we're going public with Coconut 2.0. We'll talk through what Coconut 2.0 is and why it's important. We'll take you through what we've delivered this year, but most importantly, we'll share who Coconut 2.0 is for. The global shift in working patterns towards freelancing is a really important piece of context as to why we're building Coconut. I wanted to invite someone else to tell you about it. I first saw John Younger speak at a recent event on the future of work run by Richard Prime and our friends over at Sonovate. John's knowledge about freelancers and freelancing is second to none, having been a journalist, investor and influencer in the area for years, but also a freelancer himself, and his energy for this movement is infectious. So live from New York as testament to this amazing technology, to share his views on freelancing, what's happened in the UK and around the world, here's John Younger. Over to you.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, folks, for the opportunity to speak with you today, or this evening your time, this afternoon mine. I'm sitting here in New York City on 72nd Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue, where we live, and where New York is also experiencing a rise in COVID. We don't know how much of it is Omicron, but we do know that it's a worrying time. And if you were to walk around New York today, you would see about 60% of people, my estimate, walking around with masks on outside. If you ride in our subway, which people do, I don't know what the tube is up to, but I know in our subway, we have about 99% wearing masks in the subway. So people are taking this awfully seriously. I think people are also just incredibly tired of this third year of uncertainty. With that in mind, one of the bright spots, as Sam mentioned, is the freelance revolution. And I am delighted to talk with you today and in just a very few minutes to give you a kind of overview of the important role that the freelance revolution is playing, but even more relevant to this topic, the important role that Coconut is playing. So with that, just a little bit about me. I'm a university prof. I'm an author. I'm an early stage investor and board member. I've had the good fortune to twice take a startup that I was invested in and involved in public. And I work with several young teams and some larger organizations as an advisor. Certainly there are many companies that are eager to understand more about and to partner with the freelance revolution. And I'm especially glad to speak to you today on behalf of Coconut. For you, Coconut may be an attractive investment. For me, I see it on a bigger stage. it plays a key role in the future of work. Coconut is essential plumbing for the freelance revolution. It's a key part of the global ecosystem of services that enable the freelance economy to grow, and here's how. First, more people, as Sam mentioned, are turning to self-employment as a result of the pandemic. We saw in many cases among platforms a doubling of participation. In our global survey, about 12% of the people that describe themselves as freelancers are temporary. That is to say, they're looking for a new job, they were furloughed, they left, whatever. But we are seeing about 70% of the people in the freelance revolution saying, this is where I'm going to be. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. What we do know is that the Great Resignation is a false flag. It's really the Great Awakening for most professionals. They want more independence, more flexibility, and more control of their work lives. And in our recent global study, co-sponsored with the University of Toronto, we were in partnership with 77 freelance platforms and marketplaces, and we found that above 60% of their freelancers have as much or more work as they want and are meeting their financial goals. Second, freelancers often have neither the expertise nor the interest in managing the administration of their business. I am one of them, and I am guilty as charged. They are out there, as I am, hustling, getting work done, or pitching new work. They want and need the help of Coconut and other service providers. And third, freelance access to Coconut and related services is critical to freelance revolution growth. While we're large and growing as a global freelance community, we are still a rounding error when it comes to overall global staffing. The staffing industry in 2019, I'm not going to try to predict 2020-21, but in 2019 was $500 billion globally. Freelance platforms were about 1% of that amount. So we have a lot of room to grow. We have a global freelancing challenge, however, that impedes our growth, and it's a challenge that companies like Coconut will help us solve. We won't get to scale until freelancing is more accepted as a full-time occupation. I wrote in Forbes earlier this week an article that reads, freelancing doesn't have a demand problem, it has a supply problem. And that's the reality. 3/4 of freelancers around the world are part-timers or side giggers, as we call them. And it's tough for a platform to grow its enterprise business without more full-time freelancers for several reasons. There's competitive conflict, there's fear, there's scheduling challenges, there's how long they can be involved. I'm part of a leadership group of a global initiative to increase the global full-time freelance workforce. We are working closely with industry, education, and government, and many platforms, and people like Liz Barkley, the Small Business Commissioner of the UK, who, by the way, sends her regards to you, Sam, and to Coconut. Our challenge as an organization, as a community, to rethink talent platforms as talent communities, as town centers, not digital talent warehouses. And Coconut is helping solve that problem because they're solving the problem that day-to-day full-timers face, helping them manage tax and finances more efficiently. So let me summarize, because I know there's a lot more going on in this brief session, and I know that my time is short. 1, the freelance revolution is growing around the world. There is no doubt about that. We see huge progress not only in Western democracies, in the developed countries. We're seeing tremendous growth in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, etc. Second, more and more companies like Coconut are valued and important ecosystem partners for both freelancers working on a direct basis, but also for platforms that are aggregating freelancers in the hundreds or thousands, and sometimes quite a bit more. And third, as the freelance revolution grows, companies like Coconut are going to grow alongside and also have the opportunity to expand what they do because they'll be seen as valued partners. And partners that deliver are always asked for what's the next thing that they might do to help. And finally, without doubt, the freelance revolution is reinventing work and organizations, not just in the UK and US, but around the world. And companies like Coconut are making it happen. Sam, I can't say enough about the important role that you and colleagues in other startups are playing as we grow this new approach to the world of work. It is creating a fantastic opportunity to reduce financial inequality by connecting talent with opportunity around the world. I can't think of a better way to say thank you than to say thank you at this time of year. And with that, I turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you so much, John. And once again, a really energized feeling that I've got after your presentation. You know a huge amount about the market. I know you have to rush off, so don't feel bad about checking out, but very glad to have your input. I'm sure everyone will feel the same. And thanks so much.
Thank you so much. And Sam, if people have questions, jcyounger@me.com. Feel free to write.
Brilliant.
Well done.
Thank you. So very excited to see the chats from people coming through. Dartmouth, Devon, I've just seen London, Manchester. And I guess one of the benefits of being able to do this as a webinar format online is that more people can attend, but we are very sad not to be seeing each other in person. So sorry about that. We will get back to seeing each other face to face as soon as we can possibly do that safely. Back on to Coconut 2.0. Now we've had the sort of zoomed out macro market view. Coconut 2.0 represents a big shift in our strategy and our product. We've gone from having quite a sprawling array of products, including business current accounts, cards, open banking, limited companies, sole traders, accountant portal, to a much simpler, more focused and deeper proposition for one specific group. We help sole traders and their accountants manage their money and tax using open banking. The first big change for Coconut 2.0 that I'd like to take you through is that we're no longer opening new current accounts. We realized a few things about current accounts. Firstly, open banking has come a long way since we launched back in 2018, and it's much easier to open a current account when you're self-employed. What's more, the vast majority of self-employed people already have banking arrangements. So by requiring them to open a bank account with you to use your tax software, you're limiting their choice and are not focused on the problems that they need to solve. We're no longer a current account for freelancers. Secondly, we stopped building products for limited companies and focused 100% on pure non-incorporated self-employed people, or to use the legal term, sole traders. These decisions amount to a massive shift in our strategy, a pivot, and a pivotal moment in Coconut's history. We're a tax app for freelancers. Now freelancers can get their money and tax organized in minutes with Coconut, regardless of where they choose to bank. We've dived into what we think we can do better than anyone else and where we can make the biggest impact on the world. Making tax digital is a really important piece of market context for us in the UK. So I thought I'd take a moment just to touch on it. It's a fundamental change in how HMRC will require sole traders to manage their tax. And it was recently delayed by 1 year to 2024 to give those impacted time to prepare, which actually was a relief all round. But this is a huge transformation in tax and will be it's going to be a big part of our story at Coconut. HMRC will be requiring all sole traders to move to quarterly tax reporting. The first mandate for those earning over £10,000 annually will happen in April 2024. So it's just 2 years to prepare. And what's more, sole traders and their accountants are going to have to use a digital product like Coconut to do their filing. It's the biggest change in the tax system since self-assessment was introduced in the 90s. And as you'll see, Coconut 2.0 is big on tax. Sole traders and their accountants will have to do more than 4 times the amount of work when MTD is mandated. But if they use Coconut, they'll hardly even notice. Next, I wanted to talk a bit about business performance. I'll cover it high level, but many of our customers and community are also investors from our 3 very successful crowdfunding campaigns. That means we want to make sure that you're up to speed with how we're performing against our goals. Being a crowdfunded company makes us unique. We love it because we're building this together. We're hugely grateful for the support of our investor community. Our investors have been amazing at spreading the word about Coconut in the past. With Coconut 1.0, 70% of our growth came from referrals as a result of having so many committed investors spreading the good word. And today, I want to share how you can do that for Coconut 2.0. We believe that we can easily top that level of organic growth in the future, and I know this will be a key part of our success. At the start of this year, we set out our plan to transform our product and our company. I'll outline 3 of our goals. The first was to ask customers to pay for our product and convert 60% of their active to paying. The second was to raise funding to achieve these goals. And the third was to get conversion from new customers to paying customers up to 20% plus. It was a really ambitious plan. And let me outline how well we've done. So first, we asked customers to pay for the product. At the start of the year, we announced that we would begin charging customers, and this wasn't a decision that we took lightly. We launched 2 tiers, the side hustle tier at £3.60 a month and the professional tier at £12 a month. And we were absolutely blown away that 75% of our active customer base started paying us for the product, a real vote of confidence and a sign of the value that we've built, but also smashing our target of 60%. And not just that, we've continued to improve our product over the year. We've launched new features, transformed the user experience, and as a result, customers have trusted us with £500 million worth of income and expenses categorized this year. In July, we raised over £2 million to deliver on these goals. Once again, our community supported us to deliver on this stage of our business. It was an incredible show of excitement and belief in our goals, and we were very grateful. Getting conversion of new customers to paying up to 20% was our third goal. This is the precursor to getting back to growing paying customers. You have to be able to find the right customers, show them how valuable your product is, and get them to part with their hard-earned cash because they found the product so valuable. Last year, most of our customers were coming to us for a current account. Understandably, they were surprised at the start of the year when they arrived and we didn't offer this, so conversion was low. But the team have worked hard to improve the experience in the product, highlighting the value early on and converting customers to paying for the product within the 7-day trial period. And here's a chart showing how well we've delivered over the year. Those of you who are astute may have noticed that that doesn't reach 20%, but to put that in perspective, that's 4.5 times improvement in our conversion rate from app to download since the start of the year. And that's on a subscription tax product, no longer a free product. How are we going to get to 20%? And this is where some deeper learning comes in. The self-employed model covers a vast array of different business types and industries, and we've learned a lot about them over the last 4 years. Over time, we want to cater to all of them, but it's important that we work for a smaller set of customers first. We're well over 20% conversion in certain specific segments, and this is where our focus for Coconut 2.0 is born out of. Industries like marketing and advertising at 26%, fitness instructors, virtual assistants, videographers, photographers, and makeup artists from film, TV, and radio, fashion designers, and graphic designers. And what's more, we convert over 90% of customers who are referred to us by accountant partners. I'll be sharing a bit more information on this in our investor update in the coming weeks. The first thing that I want to cover next is that over the last 4 years, we've worked closely with self-employed people. And I want to outline who Coconut 2.0 is for. We're responding to exciting and seismic changes in the world, like the growth in freelancing that John outlined earlier on, but also changes in the technology and financial landscape, like open banking and making tax digital. Many people know that Adam, my co-founder, and I were once freelancers, and that's part of the reason why Coconut exists. That's when we experienced the challenges of managing money and tax as a freelancer. But what not a lot of people know is that when we first started Coconut, we were the knowledgeable and trusted friends to the freelancers around us. We were chartered accountants who, I like to think anyway, were fun to hang out with and forward thinking when it came to tech. The guys that people came to for their money and their accounting questions. That's where Coconut started. Adam and me helping out our freelance friends with their tax. We saw a trend, freelancing is growing. Our friends' businesses were growing and they needed a trusted friend for the money and tax side of things. Why we call Coconut, I think, is another important part of our story. We wanted a business name that resonates with our customers' values, goals, and aspirations. We spoke to many freelancers who had chosen self-employment for flexibility and control of their lives. They were getting out of the grind of employment and stepping out on their own. They perhaps one day could move abroad and work from a beach somewhere hot. In reality, the admin of running a business is harder than people imagine, and we want to help with removing that burden. So Coconut represents that aspiration, control, flexibility, and the tranquility of knowing that there's one less thing to worry about. And perhaps one day you'll find yourself peacefully working on that beach, in spirit, if not in body. When we launched Coconut 1.0, we were known for freelancers. And since the beginning of the year, we developed quite a unique perspective on who Coconut 2.0 is for, based on who gets value from the product. Coconut is built for what we call growing freelancers. As you can see from this diagram that I found on LinkedIn by Jessica Bruno, the first part of your freelance journey can be fraught and full of ups and downs. But there's a turning point in a freelancer's career where they are starting to build up. This might be after they've got a few clients and are picking up more, or when they choose to quit their job and go full time. But it's a critical moment when the workload around managing money and tax starts taking away from the really important stuff, like staying connected with clients, doing great work for them, or finding new clients and growing income. They need support to get to the next stage of their career. And that's where Coconut is absolutely perfect. Growing freelancers are growing their skills, they're growing in confidence, growing their incomes, and putting down roots. And there are a few other unique elements of this particular point in the journey that also benefit from strong foundations. You are your business. Your business and your personal finances become intertwined. Your business brand and your personal brand become inextricably linked. Looking after clients is an absolute priority. Freeing up time to look after your clients is all that matters. Removing any distractions from your work enables you to reach that next level, and Coconut helps growing freelancers to build strong roots. So I'm going to take you through now how the product works to do that. Around 20% of sole traders use an accountant, but many file directly through HMRC. As Making Tax Digital becomes mandated, We expect more sole traders to use accountants. And as complexity increases in your business, we always recommend finding a good accountant who will help you business succeed and make sure you get things right. I'll talk you through how accountants are working with Coconut to make sole traders their favorite clients in a little bit. But with making tax digital, those that choose to go direct will have to use a digital product like Coconut to do that from 2024. So let me talk you through how we help with that today and what we're planning for the next couple of years. I also just wanted to share that, well, actually, I'll just say that you can download our app today to get to your 2021 tax return numbers in a matter of minutes. And so to celebrate that, we've come up with an exclusive offer for anyone that's watching this video before Sunday. So if you or anyone that you give this link to signs up to Coconut by Sunday night, you can make the most of our free offer, free till Feb. By signing up from this link, you or your friends, as long as you're a new customer, will get Coconut completely free until the 1st of February, allowing you to use the product for your 2021 self-assessment. We'll share the details again at the end of the presentation, but now let me show you how Coconut 2.0 works. So after downloading the app, you connect up your bank accounts or credit cards to import your bank statements in a few clicks. We work with all the major banks or credit cards. With the 31st January tax deadline on the approach, once you've connected your bank account, you can use Coconut to prepare the figures for your tax return in less than 10 minutes and make the most of our free till Feb offer. For those who are technical or accountants on the call, this demo is compiling the data for the SA103S or self-employment section of the self-assessment form. The app ingests 24 months of your historical transaction data, and you can define what we do with it. The transaction statements are updated every hour to give you an almost real-time experience. Now, one of the key components of what we do for sole traders is help them to unmuddle business from personal expenses. Business accounts, if you define those, we categorize automatically and add them to your calculations. Personal accounts, you can select transaction by transaction and make those into business transactions. The tax tab is automatically populated once your bank statements are imported with your transaction data for the tax year, using the bank statement feeds from your account. And our tax engine puts the transactions into the right tax categories. You can click into your tax profile and your tax, make sure your tax estimate is accurate throughout the year, adding any employment income, other adjustments, or other types of income. Back in the tax tab, you can easily drill into the transactions that are making up your tax report. I've clicked on allowable expenses here. I can scan down and spot any recategorizations that I might need to make this, like an Amazon transaction, for example. If I click through, I can change the category to materials. And if I want to change all the similar transactions to the same category, I can do that very quickly, saving a huge amount of time. When MTD is introduced by HMRC, you'll be able to file from the app in line with the requirements. But for now, HMRC isn't really ready for us to encourage people to do that. By focusing 100% on non-incorporated self-employed people and freelancers, we're able to do some really cool stuff that's not possible for traditional cloud accounting companies. And they're just not built to do some of this. So an estimated 75% of sole traders use a personal account to manage their business. The remaining 25% often have business transactions in personal accounts or credit cards. This muddling up of personal and business is a very unique sole trader problem. And until today, there's not been a good way of managing that. Our bookkeeping features allow you to unmuddle transactions using our 3-button system: business, personal, and split. You can set the rules when you import the bank statements, as I've already mentioned. But in this example, here's my personal Monzo account, which I've got connected to Coconut. This transaction was a business transaction. I selected business from the 3-button selector, and now having looked at the inbuilt tax guidance, I want to categorize as materials. But actually, I remember now, only 80% of that transaction relates to business. So here I use the split functionality to apply that percentage to my tax calculations. It's super simple to get your business expenses unmuddled and in one place. And that place is the business transactions view. At a glance, you've got a snapshot of your business, all of your business transactions in one place. It's so simple to create a consolidated view of your sole trader finances with transactions across any number of bank accounts and manual adjustments. So we support connections with all of these banks, and this is a key part of Coconut 2.0. Why would anyone need to switch or open a new bank account? This means we can serve any growing freelancer today. And what's important about today is it's tax return season. There's a few other bits that are important pillars of our product. We also want you to feel in control of your money and your tax on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, not just tax season. So without entering any data, you can see monthly performance on the business tab. You can also set rules for tax saving, making sure that you know at a glance how much to set aside each month. What if you have an invoice or receipt but no transaction yet? Well, we've got that covered too with our Snap for Later feature. You can capture receipts and invoices and attach them to manual adjustments or bank fee transactions when they appear. In this example, I've saved a receipt and I'm going to attach it to a business transaction in my personal account. If you'd prefer to do your bookkeeping on web, many people are really excited about this. You can use our web tool, which launched 2 weeks ago, to do your bookkeeping, and it's a huge hit with our customers. And all of this is on top of our other standard features that have been around for ages, including invoicing, receipt storage, note-taking, search, and PayPal integrations. Next, I'm going to talk you through one of the big differences with Coconut and other self-employed products on the market, and that's that we absolutely love accountants and bookkeepers. In our view, accountants serve a really important role in the business of, or in business owners' lives. We built Coconut in a way that helps them manage sole traders really easily. We're on a mission to make sole traders accountants' favorite clients. There are 2 reasons why now sole traders are a big growth opportunity for accountants. So making tax digital, which we've talked about, means that sole traders earning over £10,000 will have to submit tax returns every quarter and do that through a digital product like Coconut. Secondly, people are stopping registering limited companies for contracting purposes and even closing their limited companies because IR35 is changing the rules around tax for personal service companies, and dividend tax breaks are disappearing. And so there's downward pressure on limited companies and more higher earning sole traders. So where does Coconut support accountants best? We get sole traders set up so they are organized and ready to work with an accountant. They build strong foundations, good habits, and have built-in knowledge of their business and their finances through using Coconut. And this means that for accountants that want to take up the opportunity to serve this group or want to grow this part of their practice, we provide the home for their sole trader clients. A platform to work with them, keep their books in order, and prepare for filing really efficiently. Our app is designed specifically for their freelancers and sole traders, so there's very high engagement in the product, and this keeps the data up to date, the questions to a minimum, and the level of knowledge of their clients much higher, cutting out costs. Here's a little demo that I'm going to run through of how accountants use our portal. So they can see all their sole trader clients here that they've invited to use Coconut. They can drill into their clients' records in real time, avoiding any unnecessary back and forth chasing. They can review really easily the client's transactions or across any category to make sure that they're happy. And if they find any errors or things that they're uncomfortable with, they can recode those transactions to the correct categories, either one at a time, in bulk, or across many different transactions, just like you can in the app. They can also add manual adjustments. So that might be cash transactions, or perhaps the working from home allowance or other allowances to make sure they're logging their clients. They're keeping their clients' tax bills low. And once they're happy with all of that information, they can very easily export their data into their tax filing software. So in a few clicks, you can get the information into Tax Calc, Tax Filer, BTC, any of those filing softwares. Accountants are a key part of our future at Coconut, and we want to be the home for their sole traders. We'll help you prepare for MTD ITSA, but beyond that, we'll keep building features that improve the service to sole traders. And so it's definitely worth getting in touch about our partner program at getcoconut.com/accountants. So finally, just to wrap up, I'm really grateful to everyone for coming. And now that you know what we're about, we need your help. Coconut 1.0 grew through referrals. We have a huge community and a very happy group of new customers who are loving Coconut 2.0. If you know any freelancers, those that are just feeling like the money and tax side of things are taking them away from their work, tell those freelancers Coconut is here to help you organize your money and tax. And what's more, if they sign up now in time for tax season, they will get until the end of January completely free with our free till Feb offer. So what you can do, take out your phone, unless you're on your phone, scan the QR code, and that will take you to the landing page. Thank you for coming tonight. We're sad that we can't be together in person. We hope to get back to face-to-face meetings as soon as possible. And in the meantime, have a great break over Christmas. Stay safe, and we will see you in the new year.